Perfect. Hello traders, this is Tom Williams from Opteck. Good day to you all. Today it is the 16th of October, and uh, at last we can see that some sort of liquidity is driven into the market. We can see that the market is more fluent and we've got a variety of opportunities. We will talk about the chart in a second. First of all, let's go over the announcements. We had a great announcement on the pound at 9:30 a.m. That gave a lot of strength to the pound. We can see that the pound is gaining strength in the market, and it's one of the strongest currencies in the market at the moment. We know that the euro lost some strength today, and we will again see that once we will analyze the strength and weakness of the charts. At 1:30 p.m. Which will be in an hour and a half. We've got an announcement on the Canadian dollar, red announcement, good potential to see an additional liquidity driven into the market. And late at night, we've got an information from Mr. Draghi, the European Central Bank president. I'm sure that he will deliver liquidity into the market as well. I can't say for sure if it will gain an additional strength, if it will deliver an additional strength to the euro or not. But at the moment, we know that we're approaching a period where an additional liquidity will be added to the market. We know that we've got a very, very difficult situation in the United States at the moment, and there are a lot of traders out there waiting for some sort of confirmation to join the market. And in this case, we know that the market may produce good potential trades for small time frame trading, but I would avoid trading 1 hour trades. Because 1 hour trades will expose my funds, will expose the trade to a large amount of changing that can occur on the market, and that we do see that the current situation in the market is it's moving the markets from side to side. We saw yesterday that at the beginning of the trading day, the Japanese yen was stronger, and then it weakened, and right now we can see currencies fluctuating in front of it. So we understand from that, only from the charts, even from the charts, we understand that the circumstances aren't as easy as we would like it to be. But definitely that's not a sign that we can't trade, just that we need to understand when the market will allow us to trade on it. So at the moment, we've got a variety of opportunities in terms of announcements. Let's go to the chart and let's see what we've got over there. Okay, so first of all, let's go to the Japanese yen currencies. We will measure strength and weakness over here. 48, 51, 53, 51, 52, 51, 48, 53. Because I'm using a variety of strategies, let me just check that the charts are located at the correct measurements. All of them on 15-minute chart, and they are resized at 84. Perfect. So let's begin to organize the currencies. The New Zealand is one of the strongest currencies, the pound as well, as I said, and we can see that generally the market is not expressing a lot of liquidity yet. The pound is definitely the strongest currency, just as I said, because of the good announcements that we had earlier. And we can say again that the Australian dollar and the New Zealand are approximately the same area, which is a good indication for us in terms of structure. But still, we can say that the market is not expressing an enormous amount of liquidity because the strongest currency, it doesn't have a 10-digit separation. 53 and 48, that's the difference between the strongest currency and the weakest currency, and in this case we're talking about 5 digits, 6 digits. not enough liquidity in the market, and because of that we're not expecting a variety of opportunities until we will receive an additional liquidity. And as I said, from the variety of announcements that we've got later on, again regarding the Canadian dollar and regarding the euro. In this case, the only assets that I would trade right now, before the announcements, will be the pound and the New Zealand in front of the dollar and the Canadian dollar. Okay, pound and New Zealand in front of the Canadian dollar and in front of the US dollar. They will produce good signals, accurate signals, because they do have some sort of change, some sort of difference in terms of strength and weakness. But again, I can't trade all the assets on our platform because they involve larger amount of risk at the current status. Later on this day, we will have an enormous amount of opportunities, but right now, traders are waiting outside. We're calling it sitting on the fence, waiting outside of the market and not investing toward any direction. Looking at the image of the Swiss franc in front of the Japanese yen, I can say that according to the elite wave analysis structure, my expectation, because I can see a 1, a 2, a 3, and a choppy A, B, C, which indicates the fourth wave climbing up, we've got a potential of a downtrend over here, no question about that. Let's think about that. A stronger Japanese yen in the market can involve a stronger US dollar in the market. We saw that they are correlated according to yesterday's perspective. Yesterday, both Japanese yen and US dollar gained strength together, expressing the weakening US market. We saw that the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and the Nasdaq lost approximately 0.5% each and every one of them, and that indicates that indeed the market is impatient of waiting for some change to occur. Everyone is afraid that eventually they will not resolve the issues, and we will go into a very difficult period. Again, everyone is waiting for an announcement from Obama, but at the moment we've got no indication that something substantial to base our opinion on. So a good potential for a stronger Japanese yen in the market. Later on this session, maybe the Canadian dollar will already make the effect. Maybe only the European announcement will do that. But again, I've got a potential over here for a downtrend on the Japanese yen. And I will not trade the pound in front of the Japanese yen using that, of course. I will trade the lowest, the weakest currency, meaning the Canadian dollar and the US dollar. Obviously, on our platform, we can trade the US dollar in front of the Japanese yen for a put option at instantly once the Japanese yen will regain its strength in the market. So that will be a good choice to trade the put option on the dollar versus Japanese yen once we will have an additional liquidity, and if my analysis will actually form another leg down, another impulse pattern dropping down. Let's proceed to other currencies. Let's see what we've got over there. Okay. We said that the New Zealand and the Australian dollar aren't so different in terms of strength and weakness, and we can see this image. We can see that we don't have strong movements. We have a choppy overlapping movement over here, a corrective pattern. We do have some sort of a downtrend movement, and we had a good trade over here for a put option, but beside that we can see that the market is not producing a lot of good trades. So I will definitely wait for an additional uptrend over here that will pull the stochastic higher, will allow me to join another downtrend movement, but I can't count on that movement for a long time. Half an hour trade will definitely be a logical decision over here. Again, stochastic climb up, cross at the top, and a drop down is expected, at least for half an hour, which will produce a profitable trade. Basically the same in front of the Australian dollar and the New Zealand, just as I can see in front of the euro and the Australian dollar as well. A good potential for a downtrend, but in this case, because in front of the New Zealand, I can see the New Zealand has a potential to gain strength in front of the Australian dollar, and in front of the euro, I can see the Australian dollar should gain strength in front of the euro. Then the logical analysis, the logical trade to take will be the euro in front of the New Zealand for put option. If you've got that, if you will have that opened on our platform, then that is my suggestion. The euro in front of the New Zealand for a put option, a good potential because the New Zealand is a bit stronger than the Australian dollar, and logically that will be the move that we can participate in. Australian dollar versus the US dollar. We know that the Australian dollar is a bit stronger than the US dollar, and we've got a nice image over here of impulse, correction, impulse, correction. Impulse is expected to climb up, stochastic at the bottom, RSI at the top, good indication for an uptrend. A trend line above these candles, the corrective pattern across beyond the trend line will indicate a good trade for a call option. So that's another good trade. As I said, although we don't have a lot of liquidity in the market, we may have several good trades, and our indicators are showing that this is definitely a good potential for a call option. Australian dollar versus Japanese yen, we've got a potential for an uptrend over here, but I will not participate in that. I want to show you something. That's a great image. Over here you can see that the Australian dollar in front of the Japanese yen went lower, higher, lower, higher, lower in a sideways movement. Let's see the same image in front of the US dollar. Again, higher, sorry. Again, higher, lower, higher, lower, higher, lower. But in this case, it's in an up movement, meaning that the dollar is weaker than the Japanese yen. Again, in this case, we have an uptrend, general uptrend climbing. In this case, we've got a sideways correction, meaning that the potential is obviously better in front of the US dollar. So I will not involve my funds in the Australian dollar versus Japanese yen. A better potential will be in front of the US dollar. Over here we've got nothing. The RSI is too close to the 50 level. May fluctuate, may fall a bit. Not my concern. Right now I'm not trading the euro in front of the Japanese yen. We've got a good potential over here on the pound versus Japanese yen. Unfortunately, the trend is not strong enough to pull the stochastic lower, and I'm worrying that we won't have a straight and clean indication over here. So again, I wouldn't trade the pound versus Japanese yen, although we can say that the pound is strong in the market and the Japanese yen is pretty weak. Again, let's look at the structure. It seems like a clean movement higher and choppy overlapping movement dropping down. But again, I can't see any reflection of a good image on the structure, so I would leave this asset alone. Other assets, I went over them and they don't reflect the potential yet. Over here we've got nothing. Over here as well. This one again, nothing. The gold made an enormous movement lower, expressing the stronger dollar in the market that we had yesterday. But as you can see, it's gaining a bit strength. Let's look at the larger image of the gold. Let's see what is our expectation. Okay. It's amazing to see how announcement expressed movement on the gold according to the past. Here we had a very important announcement. If I'm not mistaken, that was a speech brought to us by Bernanke. Oh, that was a speech from Draghi in the European area. Again, it doesn't really matter. I can't remember which announcement that was specifically, but we see an enormous movement that climbed up and that was it. I mean, the gold just kept on expressing the stronger and stronger dollar in the market. Again, as I began this analysis, I said that when we've got weakness in the US market, we're expecting the dollar to gain strength because we're using large amount of dollars. We're pulling dollars from the market, and by that, we're causing the dollar to gain strength, to raise the bar of the demand for the dollar. This is why the dollar is gaining strength right now, although the US economy is losing strength. So this expression of a downtrend, we've got 5 waves dropping down over here. We've got a corrective pattern. We've got another 5 waves, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Another impulse movement dropping down, corrective pattern. Basically, what we're looking at, this entire fall down is a complex correction. It's not a clean, regular impulse 5, 3, 5, 3. It's a complex corrective pattern, and it's more difficult for us to find the potential according to this structure. But again, as we, you know what, let's place some channels around this structure. My expectation from this structure specifically is that the market will stay in that channel, in this channel, until it will receive a very important announcement, whether from the US market or later on this evening from the European market. At the moment, I'm expecting the market to keep on bouncing between the channel lines. Meaning that I'm expecting right now the dollar to lose a bit strength in the market, and we can see that in front of the Japanese yen, that the dollar is one of the weakest currencies, although yesterday it gained strength. So the expression of weaker dollar in the market will cause an uptrend on the gold, and then we can find another potential for a continuance of a downtrend, a continuance of a pullback. Okay, I'm still expecting, I said that something like 4 or 5 months ago, I'm still expecting the gold to reach levels of 1100 for an ounce. We're reaching there. I said that since we were in 1,500, 1,700, and logically, according to the elite wave analysis, this is the logical target in terms of structure. It doesn't mean that it will reach 1100, but it means that that is the direction, and we may see the US market all of a sudden gaining a lot of strength and everything is okay, and the dollar is losing strength in the market. That will cause the gold to climb up. That will cause traders to feel more secure. And usually, again, there's a lot of confusion in the market. Usually what happens is that once the market is in a crisis, a lot of traders are pulling funds out of the stocks, out of companies, out of the market, and investing it in gold, in the gold, because the gold is considered to be a safe investment. Unfortunately, for the last half year or even a year, we can see that this equation is not forming the regular structure as we were used to. We can see that traders aren't looking to invest in the gold because of the crisis that we had in Europe. The crisis that we had in Europe caused a lot of banks to say that they're going to release a lot of gold to the market in order for them to cover the debt. And that specific situation caused the gold to lose its confidence, to lose its perspective as being a confident investment for the long term. So we understand that the gold lost its position of being the safe investment, and we do expect it to regain that perspective, maybe out of a weaker dollar in the market, and maybe out of a safer and calmer situation in Europe. Again, we've got an announcement today regarding the European economy, and that might deliver an additional confidence, and that might deliver an additional weakness on the dollar and additional strength to the gold. But still, while we're bouncing in this channel, we're still expecting the gold to drop down slowly until we will receive another announcement that will break the lower channel or the higher channel that will allow us to follow that movement for a call option or a put option on the gold. Until then, we're bouncing between a specific channel. That will be it for today. I wish you all the best with your trades. If you need any assistance, you've got your brokers. You can turn to them. They are capable of helping you with all the knowledge that you need in order for you to analyze charts on your own. Have a pleasant day, and seriously, wait outside if you're not confident enough. Wait for announcement to add an additional liquidity, and then you'll be able to join movements as we're used to using our strategy. All the best, have a pleasant day, and bye bye.